Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am back on War Thunder and I'm going to be taking a look at something which has been very much anticipated by the community for quite a long while. This is the Naval CBT, and in today's episode I am going to be looking over the current state of the American naval tech tree. Starting off with the Higgins 81 FTPT-6. This is a 1.0 rated rank 1 American torpedo boat. This is actually the reserve vehicle on the American tech tree. Now, in terms of weapons, this features two 12.7mm AN M2 machine guns, which are mounted either side of the bridge, and then also two torpedoes, which slide backwards to be released. Most other boats in the game, the torpedoes fire forward to the sides. These ones just slide off the back, and they do go quite slow, so there's not really a chance of hitting you. And even if they do, they just go straight through you, so nothing happens. In terms of performance, crew of 17, 40-mile-an-hour top speed, and 50-ton displacement. No armor on the ship, and if we go to X-ray, you've got radio station, bridge, ammo, guns, fuel tanks, 3 engines, which is sort of a feature of most of the early torpedo boats, and then the 2 torpedoes at the back. If we go back now, we'll jump to take a look at the Elco 77 FTPT-20, which is effectively a beefed-up version. Now, it does look very different. I believe it is slightly smaller, but this features 4 torpedoes rather than 2. It is the same version, the 533mm Mark 8 torpedo, and it's got 4 of them. And it also has twice the amount of machine guns, which are mounted in these glass dome turrets. So not really much to go over here. If we go on to armor, there is none. And as you can see, the previous ship had a radio station. This lacks a radio station, so I'm not sure if that will actually change any gameplay characteristics of the vehicle. But as you can see, 3 engines yet again, fuel tanks, ammo. It's pretty much just the previous version, but a bit better. This is a 1.7 rated vehicle, rank 1, and it's 7,900 RP to unlock the vehicle. Now, the crew is 15, so it has less crew members according to the stats. Maximum speed of 40, so that stays exactly the same. And a displacement of 33 tons, so it is also lighter than the previous ship. So if we go to the 80 feet nasties, we're going to click there. So here we go, this is yet another 1.7 rated rank 1 vehicle. It is yet again 7,900 RP. And this features no torpedoes. This is more of a riverboat type thing. You've got one 40mm cannon here placed near the back of the ship behind the bridge. 2 20mm cannons and a 12.7mm turret. Now, another feature is no armor, so that can be expected with a lot of the lower tier vehicles. And if we do go into X-ray, you'll see it's got lots of fuel tanks, only 2 engines this time, so slightly less. It is a lot sort of smaller ship. Steering gear and props, all that, and then you've got the ammo at the front, and you've got some pumps to, I guess, pump the water out if the ship begins to leak. Now, it is rather simple, pretty interesting vehicle. It does quick stats. You've got 21-person crew, 44-mile-an-hour top speed, so it is a bit faster, and 65 tons is the weight of the vehicle. So now that we look to that, we're going to jump over to look at the 110 FT SC497, which is a bit of a bigger ship compared to what we've just been looking at. Not much bigger, but it is a bit bigger. So you yet again have that 40mm Bofors L60 cannon at the front here, rather than at the back. And then you do also have 3 20mm Mark II cannons, 2 of which face sideways and 1 of which faces backwards. So this is sort of like a very weakly armoured mini destroyer. Rather interesting there. If we go to armour, there is no armour. X-ray, you got the ammo at the front, as would be expected. You have a radio station again, which is good. Not sure what that can be used for. I'm guessing that's for artillery strikes, which I did see in the modifications for some of these vehicles. And then you also have the bridge. Engines, 2 engines by the looks of it. More ammo at the back, more fuel tanks, and the steering gear. So there we go. That's an interesting looking boat. Should be quite fun. 22-person crew. This is a 2.0 vehicle, and it costs 9,200 RP to unlock. Rank 1. And 21.7 mile-an-hour top speed, and displacement of 98 tons. So now we're going to go back, and we're going to take a look at the Higgins 78 FT PT71. So here it is, the PT71. Effectively, it's very much resembles its previous naval torpedo boat counterpart. although it does have different torpedoes. Rather than the 533mm torpedoes, it's got 21-in wet heating Mark 8 torpedoes, which I believe are different, and it has got 4 of them yet again, and it still has the 4 machine guns, only they're not in a glass dome turret, they are now just in sort of an open air turret. And then it does also now have this 20mm cannon at the back, which should help to defend yourself against other riverboat type vehicles. So also 12-person crew, 39 mile an hour and 49 ton displacement, 9,200 RP to acquire this vehicle, and it's a 1.7 rated tier 1. So next up, we're going to take a look at the LCS L3. So this is a motor gunboat, so let's take a look at this. So, interesting looking, does look like a mini battleship. So first off, I believe this gun here is a turret 3-inch Mark 10 gun with 350 rounds of ammunition, bit of a larger caliber there. You do also have this twin 40mm Mark 7 cannon mounting, so you have one here and one down at the back. And then you also have 4 20mm cannons, which are also in doubles, so you have two there, two there, two there, and 2 there. So that's rather interesting. Good looking boat, should be relatively decent. 73-person crew, maximum speed of 28.6 miles per hour, and a displacement of 387 tons. Of course, this is the CBT though, so all these stats could possibly change. Do keep that in mind. Rank 1, rating of 2.3, and it costs 11,000 RP. Let's see if there's any armor. There is. Okay, so effectively, special treatment steel, 6.3 millimeters, pretty much 6.35 mil, and that is spread around these points. And then the frontal one is 6.35. So, yeah, 6.35 mil special treatment steel. Going on to X-ray, you got fuel tanks as would it be expected. Ammunition spread out along the ship, which could be a weakness if that's hit. Got the turrets and the guns and the bridge, which is down there. Is there a radio station? Can't seem to find a radio station anywhere. But there we go. So you've got the engines as well, and you've got a steering gear. So that is the basic design of the LCS L3. Interesting looking ship for sure. Definitely will be something interesting to play, and does look like a fun low tier vehicle. So next up, we're going to look at the Elco ATFT PT103, which is a obviously an improved version of these torpedo boats. Now, this does only have 2 torpedoes, which are, yet again, the 21-in wet heating Mark 8 torpedoes, which is rather interesting. Looks to be a slightly improved version. This is a 2.0 rated rank 1 vehicle, 11,000 RP cost, crew of 12, 40 mile an hour top speed, and a 38 ton displacement. Now, this does have the 2 turrets of the 2 12.7mm AN-M2 machine guns, yet again, and it also still has the 20mm cannon at the back. Any armor? No. Go to X-ray. You look to have the bridge, torpedoes, turrets, 3 engines again. Not really much to say there. It's pretty much the same as most of the other early torpedo boats. So next up, we're going to look at the 165 FT PC 451. So interesting boat here. Looks to be a bit bigger. There we go. Looks quite good. So we've got the standard 3-inch Mark 10 gun at the front there. Anything else? Yeah, you've got the 20mm cannon. So you have basically 2 twin 20mm turrets. And then you've got 2 singles at the top there. I don't think there's any others. Pretty simple there. In terms of armor, there is no armor. This is a 2.3 rated vehicle, rank 1, 46-person crew, maximum speed of 21.7 miles per hour, and displacement of 354 tons. And it is 11,000 RP for those of you wondering. So going here, you can see the ammunition is stored both at the front and the back. You've got the 2 big engines. There is the smoke funnel, another engine actually, so that is 3 engines by the looks of it. Fuel tank, pumps, bridge, yeah, pretty simple, and the guns and all that sort of stuff. Relatively simple boat, very similar to the last boat we looked at on this sort of tech tree line. So now we looked at that, we're going to move down here and we're going to take a look at the Elco ATFT PT314. So this is a 1.7 rated rank 2 vehicle. It costs 18,000 RP, displacement of 51 tons, 40 mile an hour top speed, and a crew of 12. Now this has got a 40mm sort of cannon at the back, a 37mm, which I'm presuming is one of these two, probably this one here, and then it's got a 20, which I'm presuming is that one. And then it still has the two twin 12.7mm turrets. And then it has, of course, got four 571mm Mark 13 torpedoes, which I believe we've already seen on the F6F Hellcat. Do correct me if I'm wrong, though. Looks like this literally is just an earlier torpedo boat, which has been beefed up with more guns and has some bigger torpedoes. So not really anything new. Armour. You do now have some armour around the bridge by the looks of it. Some 4mm thick special treatment steel. And X-ray, yeah, still bridge, ammo. Nothing really new. 3 engines. Yeah, it's same basic design, just with a few more guns and torpedoes stacked on it. So now we're going to look at the Higgins 78 PT200. So this is a 2.7 rating, tier 2, with 26,000 RP research cost, crew of 12, maximum speed of 39 mile an hour, and then displacement of 55 tons. Now, this yet again has got that 40mm Bofors L60 cannon. You've got the 37mm ANM4, which I believe is this one here, the 20mm, which I believe is that one there, and then yet again the two dual 12.7mm sort of turrets. And yet again, it has got the four 571mm Mark 13 torpedoes, which are mounted on the side of the ship. So yet again, very, very, very similar to the previous ship we saw. Pretty much identical in terms of armament and performance. Although the performance is 12-person crew, 39 mile an hour top speed, 55-ton displacement. Armour, no armour on this ship. Lots of ammo in the front. 3 engines yet again. Fuel. Actually, more ammo at the back as well. And there's some people near the steering gear. Not sure why that is. Yeah, pretty basic to be fair. So let's move on and take a look at yet another torpedo boat, the Elco 80 PT565. So here we go. So yet again, you got those same four 571mm Mark 13 torpedoes. And you have the exact same armament by the looks of it. You've got the two dual 12 mils, you got the 40 mil, you got the 37 mil, and you got the 20 mil, so pretty much the same, pretty much identical performance to the previous ship. 3.0 battle rating, rank 2, 36,000 RP research cost. Incredibly similar, really. You got 12-person crew, 39 mile an hour top speed, and 61-ton displacement. Yet again, you do now have a bit of armor though, sort of behind the bridge, 4mm special treatment steel, X-ray, yeah, ammunition, 3 engines yet again. Fuel tank, guns, basic stuff really. It's exactly the same. So we're going to now continue moving along and look at this, the 89 feet PT810. So this looks like a slight change of pace. Yep, slightly different there. So what do we got here? So we got four 533mm torpedoes, Mark 16, which are the same size as those that were on the early torpedo boats, but I'm guessing they are an improved version. You do now seem to have, which I presume is this one here, the 81mm Mark II Mortar. Is that? Yeah, I'm presuming that's the gun at the front. So that's rather interesting. And you do have 50 rounds on that gun. You then have two 40mm Bofors cannons, which I presume is this one here. And yeah, it might just be this one at the front, actually, the Mortar. It's got an X-ray. Where is that Mortar? What is that? Is that this here? Okay, I'm not entirely sure what's on it. So this is, okay, that is the 40mm. That's the 40mm at the back. We then do have some twin 20s here and down here. And I'm not really sure what the mortar is. It says it's got a mortar, so I presume I will find out when I drive this vessel in-game. Armour, there's no armour. Going X-ray again, you've got lots of ammo at the front, some ammo at the back, 3 engines, oh no, 4 engines this time, and 4 torpedoes, of course, and the steering gear. So relatively simple, something we've come to expect to see on these sort of smaller boats. And that was a 3.7 with a research cost of 120,000 RP. So now we're going to jump down to the Elco 77 FT PT59. So here it is. This is a 3.0 rated vehicle with at tier 2 with 50,000 RP research cost, crew of 20, 38 mile an hour top speed, and displacement of 46 tons. So in terms of weaponry, it looks like it's got quite a bit. No torpedoes to be seen, but we have got 2 40mm cannons, one at the front, one at the back. We then have 4 sets of twin 12.7mm machine guns. So you've got 2 here, and I presume 2 up here. And then we do also have basically 2 sets of 3, which is the 3 down the side here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's relatively simple, just a little armoured riverboat armour, no armour to be seen. And going on to the X-ray, ammo, 3 engines yet again. There's the guns, and you've got the fuel tanks and the bridge. So another relatively simple ship there, as can be expected. So now we're going to move on to something a bit more interesting, the PGH-2. So let's take a look at this. Now this is a hydrofoil vessel. Now, from what I can find, this is jet-powered. Yep, this is a jet-powered boat, which is very interesting. As you can see on X-ray, there's these bits down here. Effectively wings. I think they're upside-down wings under the water. Or they're normal. I'm not really sure, but they are sort of wings under the water that allow the vessel to lift above the water. So, it did look quite cool. There was a naval test this weekend, or the previous weekend, when you might have seen pictures of that. So that was quite cool to see. Going on to weapons, though, we're going to say it's got the 81mm Mark II mortar, which still no idea where that is. There's this here. Is that a mortar? That looks mortary. I think that might be it. Then you've got the 40mm Bofors at the front, and then 2 sets of twin machine guns, 12.7 of course, sitting here near the front of the vessel. Armour, no armour on the vehicle. And X-ray, of course, fuel at the bottom, pumps, gun. Is that the... I take it that is the mortar. You've got ammo there, bridge, guns, and a jet turbine engine, which is rather interesting. And then the rudders, which of course are quite long. Now, this is a 4.0 rated vehicle, rank 2, and it does cost 270,000 RP, which might be... I hope that will change. That is quite expensive. Or they'll put it up to like a tier 5 vehicle, which could always happen. Now, this is a 13 crewed vessel with a maximum speed of 49 miles an hour. Definitely quite fast there. And a displacement of 66 tons. So, definitely quite interesting vessel there. And definitely something to look out for. Wonder if there's any other weapons. Now, it looks like it's just got the 4 turrets. Can't take anything else in terms of weaponry. Now next we have the Asheville, the PGM-84. So this is yet again a 4.0 rated vehicle, rank 2, 270,000 RP. Hopefully this will be moved up to tier 5 or possibly even tier 6. This does look a lot more modern than most other things. Now as you can see, it's got an interesting sort of design. It's got a 350 Mark 34 gun, which I presume is the one at the front. A Bofors at the back here. So a 40mm there. And then also 2 sets of 12mm machine guns yet again. Can't really pinpoint them. Let's go on X-ray, see if we can find them. Oh, there they are. There they are. There they are. They're there on the sides. So there's 2 sets of the 12mm. So definitely interesting there. So you got a few guns. Gone to armour. Nothing to be shown. If you go on X-ray, you'll see main caliber turret. You've got there the gun. Looks to be a radar on it. Not sure if that will come into use. The bridge, or just the crew quarters in general. Engine. There's 3 engines by the looks of it. Ammunition. Fuel tank. Steering gear. Pumps at the front and back of the vessel. Yeah, pretty simple really. And there's a smoke funnel as well. So relatively simple design. But it is an interesting looking vehicle that will most likely be one of the higher tier vehicles in the game once the trees are properly released, as it is rather expensive. So next up, we're moving down into Tier 3, and we have the Clemson Dd 336, and this is a 4.0 rated sort of larger vessel, really. This does look relatively old, probably early World War II or pre-war, to be fair, or sort of interwar period vessel. You've got four 4-inch Mark 9 cannons, one of which is there on the front. One's there, another one there, I believe. So you've got there's two there, so it'll be those ones. And then you also have a 3-inch cannon, which I believe is the one at the back. And then you also have 12 5.33mm Mark 9 torpedoes, which is rather interesting. 150 person in the crew, maximum speed of 35 miles an hour, and it's got 1,699 tons of displacement. Required RP is 50,000, so we are going down in the RP price tag now, after looking at the previous two vessels. And this is a tier 3 rank 4, so decent looking. In terms of armour, no armour on this vessel. X-ray, you got the engines, you got the funnels, fuel tanks, lots of ammunition there, bridge, pumps, engines, torpedoes, more ammunition. It's pretty simple, really. Probably got the gist by now. So next vessel is the Clemson Dd 213. So the number's gone down. Hopefully this will be an improved version though. Yeah, this is pretty much the same by the looks of it. You do now have some 20 mils as well as the torpedoes. So you got some 20mm cannons. Whereabouts are they? Presuming they're up on the bridge. Go to X-ray. X-ray always helps. Yeah, I can't pinpoint the 20s at the moment, but yeah, so it's pretty much the same as the previous ship, really, not much to change. Still 50,000 RP, still 4.0 rank 3, and all the stats are effectively the same. Now moving on to the Fletcher, which we have been seeing quite a bit in the naval tests that have happened so far. This is, of course, the DD 445. So this is a 4.3 rated tier 3 with a RP cost of 61,000 RP. It says main fire tower armor yet again, not seen that in a while. That is 32 by 32 by 32 yet again. You then have a crew of 273, 35 mile an hour top speed, same as the two previous ships. Displacement of 2,700 tons. So pretty interesting. You've got 5 127mm Mark 12 dual purpose guns. You've got two turret, I think it's a dual 40mm turret, and let's try and find that. There it is there. So that's the dual 40mm. You then also have 6 turrets, which are single 20mm Mark II cannons as well, which are most likely going to make up your anti-aircraft file. You then do, of course, have the 10 533mm steam turbined Mark 15 torpedoes, which are mounted here in these tubes. So, looking at the armour, it has got quite a bit more. Side armour, turret armour. I take it that's the main fire tower. I'm just going to guess. But yeah, there we go. So pretty simple. An X-ray, pretty much the same stuff. Lots of ammunition, pumps, steering gear, engines, turrets. Very simple stuff. Now we're going to move down to Tier 4, the current top ship in the American tech tree, the Uss Trenton. So this is a 5.0 rated vehicle. It's a rank 4. 100,000 RP, so quite a bit cheaper than those sort of smaller vessels that we saw earlier. This does look a lot older than them though. So 458 crew, 22.1 mile per hour top speed, a lot slower than everything else we've seen. Displacement of 9,150 tons. This is a very big ship compared to everything else that we've seen so far. So in terms of guns, you've got 6 6-inch Mark 12 cannons. Then it says that you have 2 6-inch Mark 12 cannons times 2. So that'll be this one at the front, the big dual turret. And there's one at the back as well. And then you also have the 2 single ones on the side there. 4 single ones there as well. You then also have 4 3-inch Mark 10 guns, which are probably scattered around here somewhere. I'm not sure if that's those ones. It looks like it might be. I'm going to presume that is those ones. So, yeah, you've got some bigger guns. You also then have some So you've got 4 of those, so I presume that's these side ones here. And then you'd also have some 1.1 inch automatic guns. So, yeah, I guess they're sort of anti-aircraft. I don't think they're really that powerful. But there we go. So, and then you do have, of course, 6 533 steam turbined Mark 15 torpedoes, which are mounted in the torpedo tubes down here near the back of the ship. Going into armour, you have a very heavily armoured centre section with rolled homogeneous, so 76 and 38, basically a big square of armour. A bit near the bridge just below, some around the turrets, but not a huge amount. And then you've got some at the rear and some around the turrets yet again. Going into X-ray, you'll see you've got the engines, lots of ammunition there. All the engines. It looks like that armoured compartment protects all the engine systems. Lots and lots of ammunition. If that does get hit, you will go up very quick. There's the bridge and there's the radio station. Basically, very simple, just building on what we've already seen. And there's the main caliber turret. So there's just quite a few of them. Definitely an interesting looking ship. But now what we're going to do is going to move on to the final ship that we haven't looked at yet. This is the Cowl. So rather interesting vehicle here. This is the Naval Cbt Pack vehicle. So you know, if you want to get into the Naval Cbt Pack, get this one if you want to play Americans, because then you can join the CBT and you can research the tech tree. Now, this is effectively incredibly similar to the Fletcher that we looked at before. I believe it literally is a Fletcher in a different paint scheme for a specific ship. So I'm not really going to go over those features, but this is just what you need to get if you want to join the CBT. So there we go. And it's effectively a Fletcher, which from the tests that have happened so far, we know is a very effective vehicle. Anyway though, thanks a lot for watching. If you did find this video informative or useful, please consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribe to the channel. If you do, that would be very much appreciated. There will be more naval content coming every week for quite a while as I progress through the research trees. And of course, I will also be doing a German tech tree video very soon. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.